The Swordgate House is one of the finest properties within the historic district of Charleston, South Carolina. And because of the size of the lot, the size of the house, the gardens, it has just become an iconic property in the city.
The physical aspect of the house is so amazing. It has kind of a mysterious air to it. It's like a miniature history of Charleston. The person who actually designed and built the gate was a German immigrant named Werner. And that gate is a perfect example of the skill that a lot of these German iron makers brought.
The sword gates were actually commissioned by the city in the middle of the 19th century for a place that was called the Guard House. I love the gates because they're softened with all this beautiful scroll work.
The flowing staircase, the ballroom, the size of the rooms, the heights of the ceilings, and you walk into the next and it is more beautiful.
The garden at the Swordgate House is a wonderful complement to the house. The main entrance is an alley of magnificent magnolias. And that leads into the round fountain garden, which has a little secret garden off of it with an outdoor dining table. And then when you come on this side of the house, there's this long, narrow alley of crepe myrtles with a reflecting pool, and then Glen Key's greenhouse at the end.
Swordgate has some of the best examples of ornamental plasterwork of the Federal period, has some of the best examples of woodwork from the Federal period, and some of the faux graining at Swordgate is the best that I've ever seen, and some of the best that's survived in the city. So Swordgate really represents some of the best surviving architecture of that Federal period in Charleston. So it was an academic process where we would look at a project, we would research the materials needed and the techniques, and then we were able to utilize the best in the craft we had in Charleston and the best materials that we could get anywhere to put back to try to maintain the character and the historic integrity of the structure.
The project was more of a continuing evolution of the property. It had changed so much over time. You know, it was a school at one point. The house had quite a varied history. It's such a grand entry that this house needed. And this house deserves to have a grand entry hall. So it was a great opportunity for us to be able to do something of this sophistication. You have the really formal ballroom, which is so elegant, balanced with the very nice study and den. I think you have a variety of spaces, and while it's very formal, it doesn't feel like a museum. It feels like someone lives here. And you can just walk through the houses and looking at the details and just know what has happened here is pretty remarkable over 250 years.
It's very private, and it's got this huge yard, and it's got this huge, the grounds are magnificent. And you know, it makes a statement. I mean, this house is really a very, very handsome house.